So, fortunately, no one was hurt during the hunt. Unfortunately, neither Tulip nor Nemmy won, which means Chartreuse still has a chance. But that doesn't really matter, does it, when we tried to save someone and I dealt the killing blow. Alessandra's plan could have worked. We had backup plans. I had a backup plan. I don't know why it was so easy. How everyone can be so nonchalant about it. I don't know if this is something I can fix.
Hello and welcome to Maidens of Mayhem. We are a D&D podcast, roleplay heavy. My name is Gabby. I will be your DM. We do have a sad announcement to make, and that is that Mikhayla, who played Nemesis, our tiefling ranger, will not be returning with us. So this will be the episode where we say goodbye to her at some point in the episode, and wish Mikhayla well on her future endeavors. I'll hand it on over to Morgan, who just gave us an emotional recap.
Hi everyone, my name's Morgan. I play Vesper Aurvandall, human cleric of Twilight, who's really going through it. That's all I really have to say.
That's fair enough, honestly.
Hello everybody, my name is Molly. I play Alessandra Scratch, the Domkir Rogue. There are no fun facts about Alessandra, no fun facts about Molly, just Molly playing Alessandra.
Hi guys, it's Diana back to play Jilly Joyce, my favorite centaur druid. And I think this is probably going to be the last that we see of Jilly for a little while, which makes me very emo and sad in my heart. But it has been fantastic playing with you guys, and I'm excited to see how this part of her journey comes to a close.
I feel like we all might be crying at the end of this episode for various different reasons.
Oh no.
It's gonna be so sad to leave Jilly behind, the therapist.
How I said I was gonna be stone-faced this whole episode?
Oh no!
I'm already crying! We haven't even started!
Yeah, I like how she's the first one to cry.
Shut up! You're crying!
Oh no.
Don't cry. I'm a sympathetic crier. I will. They will projectile out of my eyeballs.
I'm fine. Let's go.
Okay. So where we left off, Nemmy had just met up with you guys walking back through the vineyards. He whose corpse on Jilly's back, heading back towards the winery to let someone, Caressa, Amaranth, know that the problem had been taken care of. You guys get to the back of the winery, and immediately Amaranth comes running around the side back to you guys, gesturing for you guys to take the body towards the shed in the back. And they'll come up to you and they say, "Oh, I'm so glad none of you got hurt. What happened?"
He just came at us, and we tried everything that we could, but
They'll hang their head for a moment, and then they say, "Poor Marklin. He was such a sweet guy." And Amaranth will help Jilly lower the body into the shed, and they just look distraught, and they'll look up and say, He deserved better than this. I wish we could have given him more now, but I have to go back to the feast and helping prepare that. We can't deal with this now, but and they'll pull out a small chest to hand towards you guys. "This was the reward that Caressa told me to give you guys." And she'll just take it, like shove it into whoever's hands is closest. And they say, I'm so sorry. I know that. Oh my God, this is a lot, but I gotta go back and help finish with the feast. I'm so sorry. And they take back off and go back into the winery.
Alessandra's gonna glance over at Vesper, and as Amaranth is running off, she's gonna say, "Amaranth, wait, come back.
they hear you and they'll stop and turn back and say, yeah?
We can't accept this. And Alessandra will walk over with the chest and give it back to Amaranth. And then kind of glance back at Vesper and nod.
Vesper nods back.
They'll take it and say, Are you absolutely sure? I know you had an incentive.
No, we shouldn't be incentivized for death that we didn't mean to cause.
They nod and they put the chest back on their back, I guess. And they say, I really appreciate that. I want you all to know that. Come inside once you're ready. I'm sure you guys need a moment. And then they'll turn and head back in to continue with their work.
Alessandra's gonna walk over to Vesper and pull her into an awkward hug.
She awkwardly hugs her back.
Nemmy is also still there. She's just kind of looking at you guys confused because she doesn't entirely understand what happened.
It's something... It's a story for another time.
She'll nod and say, "Oh, okay," in her Nemmy way. As best as I can do, Nemmy.
I need a drink. And she'll wander into the winery.
Leaving Vesper and Jilly alone. I'm gonna say Nemmy goes with Alessandra.
Vesper, darling, I can't imagine that's the first time you've killed something.
No, you're right. You're right.
And listen, I know how that can feel when, you asking yourself if there was something else that you could have done. And maybe there was, but we just don't have any way to know. In a situation like that, sometimes, listen, I love the outdoors. I love nature, and I think that every part of it is beautiful, and every part of it deserves a fighting chance. But you're a part of that too, and you deserved your fighting chance. And when it comes down to it, I mean, nature is beautiful, but it is also extremely dangerous. And the one time that I forgot that, I got this. And she points to the 3 huge, scars that are just across her abdomen. And I almost died, and I had to kill the thing that almost killed me. And as much as I love it, but I also respect it. And I respect the fact that I could have very easily been snuffed out. And if you hadn't done what you did, there's no telling what might have happened. And the same might have happened to us, and the same might have continued to happen to all the other folks that are around here that are my family. So I know you don't feel good about it, but thank you.
You're right, Jilly. But I can't accept a thank you.
It's alright, you don't have to.
Can I just have a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
I'll nod, and I'm going to just walk.
Just walk.
Yeah. Oh, tell Alessandra I'll meet up with you all later.
Mm-hmm.
Jilly, do you go into the winery then?
Yeah.
Join the others? Alright,
Yeah.
we'll follow Jilly first. You join the others in the winery, and you see that the tavern is already very lively and inviting. There's decorations all over the place, lots of signs of Skerra. You see the signs of a feast being brought out. There's all the round tables that typically would be, spread out for people just to eat at regularly have all been pushed together to create one long table. And you see a lot of the staff who previously you had seen looked rather scared and battered have put on their game faces because this is their big day of the year and are bringing out platters and platters of food, preparing. Some of the centaurs that are preparing for the celebration have started to arrive. Jilly, when you walk in, you see Nemmy and Alessandra at the bar. I assume Alessandra has a drink at least.
I go over and join them, and I pour myself a glass and just knock it back. I do not feel good about this. And I just fucking staring at staring daggers at one point at the wall.
You're literally like that old man at the bar trope, just
I
staring
am.
off,
I am. Just
angrily drinking whiskey.
Freaking Care Bear stare, 1,000-yard stare, like.
Literally.
Alessandra will nod and she'll throw back the rest of her wine and she'll say, Where did Vesper go? Is she alright?
She's taking a walk. I think she's still a little bit, upset about what happened, but but I was glad to let her go because then she doesn't have to see me get like this because Caressa put us in a situation. I thought she knew better. She put everyone here in danger. She didn't even stop to think. There was something loose in those woods. There was a kid out there with nothing to defend himself with. And she didn't think that that was worth telling the rest of the council or any of us. And now we have to deal with it. Now Vesper has to deal with it. And that should not be on her.
Maybe it's my fault. I was the one who volunteered us.
No, it's not your fault. Y'all were just trying to do the right thing. Y'all were just trying to do the right thing. And to an extent, some of it isn't even Caressa's fault, because we still don't know exactly what caused this. So, I'm just... You ever just get real mad, but then you don't have anywhere to put it, because it's not really anybody's fault, but that just makes you more angry, because you can't just let it out. You're mad that there's no one to be mad at. That's how I feel right now. I'm mad, and I pour myself another fucking glass of wine.
Alessandra's gonna nod, and she's gonna say, I felt that before. And you wanna know how I dealt with it? Come with me.
How? Oh?
Mind not the gutter, Morgan! Anyways.
This is how Jesper will not win.
Alessandra's gonna say, let's go. And she's gonna lead her, and she's gonna take her outside, and hand Jilly one of her daggers, and say, see that tree over there? Throw it as hard as you can.
Take it in my hand, consider it for a moment, and then just with all the strength of a horsewoman.
Make an attack roll.
19.
You land it right in that tree you're aiming for.
Alessandra's gonna look at it and go, you're a natural with that. She's gonna hand her the other dagger and say, go ahead. I want to see if you can do that again.
Make another attack roll.
Try. Let's try again.
Are you flirting?
Oh, it's shit. It's an 8.
8. That one lands in the dirt, like, at the base of the tree. But it was, it was pretty good. I don't know how much, she spent time throwing daggers like this.
Definitely not. But beginner's luck, I guess. I just, still.
Alessandra will say, well, it's either this or beating the ever-living shit out of one another, and I don't think you want to do that.
No, I've had enough of that for one day.
Yeah. And she'll go collect her daggers, and she'll say, can't help but feel like this was just a mistake coming to Skerra.
Frankly, I don't blame you for feeling like that. I mean, I hope it hasn't been a complete loss, but yeah. I mean, I'm glad that y'all were here to help, because it's good that we had experienced fighters to help deal with this. I don't think that anyone else here would have, done any better. I don't think that there was a way for us to guarantee a better outcome. So, I'm glad y'all were here.
Alessandra, she'll nod, and she'll say, I'll just wait out here for Vesper, I guess. And she's gonna take her dagger, and she's gonna attempt to wing it at the tree.
Make your attack roll.
Let's do it. Okay, so 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Oh my lord.
If there was a bullseye on that tree, you would get a bullseye. So, Jilly, I assume you go back in the winery to sit with Nemmy?
Yeah, sure.
I would like to cut over to Vesper. Vesper, I would imagine you're probably not going to be wanting to be near people, so I would assume that maybe she would be walking through the vineyards alone, away from everyone, or where would she have gone for her walk?
If the vineyards are closest and there's not a lot of people there, then yes. She's looking for just a quiet, out-of-the-way place that's in the sun.
Definitely the vineyards then, because the few people that you did see working them earlier, they've all gone inside to help prepare for the feast, so there's literally no one out here.
And she's going to kneel down and take off her amulet. And she'll look up at the sky and say, I just don't know what you want me to do. I keep trying to do things, and I don't even know what I keep doing wrong. I don't even know why I'm talking to you right now. You didn't even tell me what I did wrong, and I don't know how I can come back to you. I don't know how I fell from your light, and I keep feeling like I keep falling farther. And she just sits there for a while.
Make a religion check, please.
Oh no. Religion. 14.
As you kneel there, after your plea to the sky, you don't hear anything, you don't feel anything, you feel ignored.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured. And Vesper will get up and put her amulet back on and walk back to the tavern, probably.
You see Alessandra just outside the entrance throwing her daggers at a tree.
Just walk up to her.
She'll turn and she'll say, oh, hey, and she'll grab the glass of wine she brought out with her and she'll hand it to Vesper.
Just about to ask if you want to go get drunk.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you.
And I will down it.
Alessandra will pat her on the back and not say a word because she has a feeling Vesper doesn't want to talk.
It's valid.
I was about to say, come on, let's go get shit-faced.
So, Alessandra and Vesper, once you go back into the winery, the tavern portion of it, you see that a lot more people have showed up since Alessandra was last inside. For Vesper, you see the same thing. A lot more food has been displayed on that table that they've makeshift shoved together. You see that Jilly and Nemmy are sitting at the bar, and Amaranth is serving drinks to all the patrons that have shown up. A lot of the council members are there. You do see Caressa at Amaranth's side, serving drinks alongside them. So I'm assuming Jilly's probably either staring her down or is about to say some words with Caressa.
Mm-hmm. The longer I sit there, the more I have a hard time hiding the just pissed off on my face.
You guys see the band beginning to form. It's just a bunch of different centaurs that are playing different instruments. They're like tuning things, preparing to provide music. You do see Tulip there now. She is there helping with the band getting set up next to Nutre. And the band, I assume you guys probably walk up to Jilly and Nemmy, and when you guys cross the room, the band is set up and they start playing, and some people start dancing, people start eating. Tulip and Nutre are dancing together, carefree. Everyone else seems so carefree compared to the three of you.
I would like to, as this is starting to kick up, Who was the council member that my aunt is definitely, like, having a fun time with? Was that Wenge? I'm, like, looking at the name. Or who was that?
Wenge is the youngest council member.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
Hold on, let me...
Cradle snatching over here.
Never mind.
No.
Wrong name.
She a cougar.
The council member that your aunt was at very least flirty with is Mikado Goldenray.
Okay. Flirty.
I'm gonna go... I'm sure that they're probably... I imagine that they're, like...
Oh,
still,
they're
like,
there.
hanging out together.
Yeah, they're at a table together.
I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna, like, very discreetly lean between the two of them and be like, I don't know what you've been told, but there is some business that I think needs to be brought before the council as soon as possible. And I'm gonna see how he responds to that.
Alana just grabs her chest and just looks very concerned at Mikado, and Mikado will look at you earnestly and say, well, whatever's the matter? Should we go and speak in private?
I think that would be a good idea.
He will down the last of the drink that he had in his hand, and he'll gesture for you to follow. And he'll probably honestly go back to the vineyard, because that's the only place that is 100% quiet right now.
Valid. I don't know how upfront about everything Caressa has been, so I'm just gonna lay it out. And I just lay out everything that we know. I'm like, all this stuff with the he-who and all this, and everything, and how, like, we had to go and we had to deal with it, and it was just a shit show, and just kind of tell him the whole story. And then finish up and be like, and now, I would have preferred that we had handled this as a community, rather than relying on the kindness of outsiders who are now, forced to deal with the consequences. And I do not think that it is acceptable that Caressa knew about this, and seems like she did not tell anyone, because, like, Merlot was out there, he's a child, was out there, with no way to defend himself, and something in the woods that very near could have killed him. And it's not my place to tell y'all what you should do about it, but I just wanted to make sure that someone else on the council knows what's been going on around here.
He nods, and he will grip the bridge of his nose. And it takes him a moment to find the words to respond to you. And he says, Jilly, I want to thank you for bringing this to my attention. Caressa will be dealt with swiftly. I don't want to ruin the festival for the rest of the community, but you are right. This should have been brought to the council at the very least, if not brought to the entire community. We could have put off the hunt if there was a serious threat in the woods. Things were not handled correctly. I truly believe that once this is brought to Celadon's eyes, that Caressa will no longer be a member of the council. I don't think she's fit to run this winery either. I am so sorry that you and your friends had to deal with something on your own, that, like you said, we had to rely on the kindness of people who know nothing of us or our ways, and I am very thankful to Skerra that they were kind and helpful. I need to go thank them myself.
I would just say, maybe hold off on that for a day or so. None of us feel too good about how all of this happened, and
He'll nod and he says, that is completely understandable. I would really like to thank them. Perhaps when you think that they might be ready, that you could bring them to me. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he shakes his head again and he says, I know it's going to be hard to go back in there and just pretend like this didn't happen, But I promise you, at the end of the night, Cress is going to get her...
Comeuppance.
I almost said that comeuppance.
Comeuppance.
She's gonna get her comeuppance. She's gonna get her just desserts.
Sounds like you're gonna murder her.
And he says, just try to enjoy yourself. This is supposed to be a beautiful ceremony, and she doesn't get to take that away from you or anyone else.
You're right.
And in the distance, when he wraps up saying that, you hear the sound of the horn, the victory horn that someone ceremonially killed Balua, and the hunt is over. And he'll look back at Jilly one last time and say, well, I guess we better go see who won.
Guess we better go see.
So you guys go back into the winery. Again, the crowd has really gathered at this point. The last stragglers are coming in. You guys probably actually see Mikado and Jilly. You see Celadon walking towards the winery now. And he has the crown in hand. When you walk in, a few minutes go by before everyone is there, including the hunters that were still participating. Give me a perception check, everyone, before I describe Celadon as he enters.
21.
Ooh, so perceptive.
So perceptive.
You perceive the whole world.
I perceive
Wow.
nothing. I perceive a 6.
A 6?
Yeah. I am deep into the cups.
I rolled a 3, but she has a -1 to perception, so I rolled a 2.
Ooh.
we're just like so deep in our cups, just like
We are.
we're just like SpongeBob and Patrick, like waiter,
Waiter!
No.
Jilly, then, you notice Azul, the reigning headhunter, is not there. Everyone else arrived. Chartreuse and Merlot are both there, but Azul is noticeably absent.
Damn it, I misinterpreted that at first. Alright. Whatever. Whatever. It's fine.
Celadon approaches the head of this long table, and everyone just slowly quiets down. The music slows down, like everything goes quiet. Everyone just turns to him without him even having to really announce that he's there. Everyone has been waiting for this moment. And before him stands little Merlot and Chartreuse. He looks around at the whole crowd. He holds up the crown above his head, and you would swear that there's a little bit of a twinkle around, like, the crown, like some sort of, beautiful mysticism to it.
Gabby, come on!
And he says, our new headhunter is
God.
Chartreuse Swiftfoot! And he will place the crown on her head, and he continues. He says, may she walk with pride and honor. You've done Skerra proud today, my dear. And the whole crowd just is going wild.
Vesper yells. She yells.
How much money did she put on Chartreuse?
I don't know, I have to go back and look. Hold on.
I was just about to ask the betting. Quite a lot of people lost here.
I
other than
lost
Vesper.
some money. That's cool.
Alessandra feels sick to her stomach, but she will give the winnings over. She's like, can't believe we're still going through with this after everything that's happened. Like, she was so ready to bet, and like she was so like nonchalant at first about it, and now it's really starting to sink in along with the wine into her bloodstream. And now she's kind of like, alright, whatever.
I have it written down that Vesper bet 5 gold on Chartreuse.
I wanted to say it was either, that or some silver, but probably 5 gold. I thought I'd written it, but...
We can retcon it, or whatever, if it's
5
wrong,
gold
but I
is-
have it
5
written down
gold
as
is
5
fine.
gold.
I will
Okay.
accept that.
So you receive your winnings, however much that is. from
25
everyone.
gold and 1 silver from Alessandra.
5 from me.
So 30.
Okay.
So exciting.
So the crowd settles down again, and then it just truly starts becoming a party. Just everyone dancing, celebrating, a lot of people going up to Chartreuse and congratulating her. Since you guys have been drinking for a while pretty heavily, everyone please give me a con saving throw.
Oh, of course.
Not bad. 17 for Alessandra?
18.
No, 16 for Alessandra.
14. How did I do the worst? I'm a centaur. The fuck?
I would say that for Vesper and Alessandra, you're starting to feel a buzz, even though you're, like, chugging stuff down. Jilly, you're a little bit more heading towards tipsy territory, but not quite
That's
yet.
cool. That's cool. At some point, I'm gonna kind of lean down to little Merlot, and I'm gonna be like, hey, next year you'll give her a run for her money.
He looks up at you and has, like, his hands and fists near his face. He's like, "You bet I will, Jilly."
I love this kid! Oh my gosh, I like ruffle their hair and then go walk off for a bit.
And as you guys are sulking, mingling, just enjoying the party, give me perception checks as the afternoon goes on.
17.
Unnatural 20.
Damn, Jilly's not missing anything at this party.
7.
Vesper, I don't feel like you've even looked up from your cup outside of when
2 more,
Chartreuse was
please.
drawn.
No, definitely not.
Okay. And what did Alessandra get? I'm sorry.
She got a 17.
Okay, so as you're looking around, observing things, you do notice that at some point Mikado did go whisper something in Celadon's ear. And then you also notice that Tulip has been dancing with Nutre, but at some point after a few dances, you both notice this, that Nutre kisses Tulip's hand and walks away to go join the band. And you both rolled high enough that you notice that after his back is turned to her, she just gets this sheepish look on her face, and she very awkwardly shuffles out of the winery.
Alessandra will get up with her wine and follow her out.
You find Tulip sitting against the tree that you were throwing daggers at earlier.
Alessandra will walk over to Tulip, sit down next to her, and hand her her half-full glass of wine.
She actually hesitates for a moment before taking it from you, but she does take it from you, and she will drink it.
You feeling okay, kid? Usually you never turn down wine, even for a second.
She will shake her head and say, I'm fine. Today's just, it's been a lot, you know? A lot of celebrating. A lot of happy feelings that I just don't feel right about. I'm sorry.
Alessandra will turn to Tulip and say, Copper, for your thoughts? What's really going on, kid?
Roll a persuasion check.
Come on, mama! Okay, where's my persuasion? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Dirty 20.
She stares at her feet for a moment and then eventually looks up at you, and you can see her eyes are a little bit misty, and she just looks really, really confused, and she'll say, I know that today's been a really good day, and I should just let it be a good day, right? Like, the hunt was fun. I didn't win, but the hunt was fun. I made a new friend. He's been very sweet to me, and she kind of blushes a little bit, and she's like, I mean, we've kind of been flirting a little bit too, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. This whole past 24 hours or however long we've been here just doesn't feel right after these state. I don't think I deserve any of this.
Alessandra will sigh, and she'll put an arm around Tulip and just draw her into a motherly hug and just kiss the top of her head and say, you know what, kid? It's okay to feel how you want to feel. And if you want to I don't even care. If you want to punch me in the face, I don't even care. You have a right to your feelings. But please don't punch me in the face.
She chuckles a little, and she says, "Thank you. Now we should go get drunk." And she starts to get up and walk away, but she stops herself, and she doesn't look at you when she asks this, and she says it in such a hushed tone that you almost miss it. If you weren't alone right now, you would definitely have missed it. But she whispers, "Were you ever able to forget him?"
Alessandra freezes. And her heart starts aching, and she is going to start tearing up, and her voice is going to say, "I wish I could tell you I have, kid, but..." And she'll kind of glance off to the side, and then she'll look back at Tulip, and she'll say, It's hard to forget people who have impacted your life so much, and maybe it was for the better, maybe it was for the worse, but I don't think I could ever forget him, even if I tried.
She just stands there for a moment, facing away from you, not looking at you at all, and then eventually you just see her hand come up and wipe away tears from her face, and she clenches her fists and just, does like the teenage thing where you just square yourself up essentially, and she says, "Well, I'm going to forget him," and she walks away and goes into the winery.
Alessandra won't follow. Now it's her turn to be like lost with the feelings, and she's gonna start doing the thing where she just talks to herself, and she's just gonna start just having a one-sided conversation with herself, and just look up at the evening sky. I'm assuming it's the evening at the moment.
Yes.
And she's just going to talk.
Does she say anything in particular? Or would you like me to cut away and come back to you once you've thought about it?
She's going to say, "I wish you could tell me what I should do." And she's going to glance off at the side, and she's going to say, "I miss hearing your voice." And she's going to close her eyes, and she's going to start crying.
All right. Then we will cut back into the winery. Jilly, you notice Tulip come back in. Her eyes are a little red and puffy, but Alessandra doesn't return with her.
Alright. I feel like she's probably fine. If, she was with Alessandra, I mean, like, who, for all intents and purposes, I still think that you're all just co-parenting this child. So I'm like, that's her kid. It's cool. Like, whatever. She's probably fine. Yeah, I guess I'll just go and, like, sit by Vesper for a little while and just fucking chill as much as I can right now.
So as the two of you are chilling there, with Nemmy at your side as well, you see that Mikado and Celadon approach the bar, because Caressa's still there next to Amaranth serving people, and they gesture for Caressa to come with them, and she just goes, "Oh, sure thing," and she just stops what she was doing, finishes the last drink she was pouring, and she goes out of the winery with them. Mikado probably shares a look with Jilly before walking away.
I just give him, eye contact and a nod, and then as soon as they're gone, I just smile, and I'm like, well, glad that's been handled.
Do I notice any of this or no?
Give me a perception check, just since you rolled so badly the first time.
Okay. Find me something. 19.
19? Yeah, you definitely notice when Celadon and Mikado escort Caressa away, in the look that Mikado and Jilly share.
Now I'm torn if I want to bring it up. What was that about?
Well, I mean, apparently none of the rest of the council knew about this, so I alerted them to everything that's been going on. I don't think Carissa's gonna be on the council much longer after tonight.
Is that all that's gonna happen to her?
I think so.
I don't know, would they, like, kick her out
Do
or anything
centaurs
like that?
execute one another?
Yeah, I don't know,
do
like...
I
That's like,
do I
that's
think
treason.
that, like...
Capital punishment.
That's treason!
I would like to think that we do, like, some kind of restorative justice in this town.
Okay,
I would
okay.
like to think.
So-
I don't know.
Jilly, you know that it's been very rare that anything like this major's ever happened before. You definitely would suspect that she's no longer going to be a council member. If they were to banish her, you think that the community would come together to vote on that, to talk about that collectively. They wouldn't just do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, that's gonna be something that we all discuss together as a community, you know, because what she did endangered all of us, and so we all need to decide what happens. But nothing like terrible or anything. Like, we're not crazy woods people. But you know, she put this entire town at risk, and you know, she's got to answer for it.
Fair enough. That puts my mind at ease a little bit more.
Good.
And I will down whatever I'm drinking.
Okay. Do we maybe listen? I don't really. I try not to comment on other people's imbibing, but if you're trying to drown your demons, one thing everyone seems to forget is that they can in fact swim. So I mean, we make everything pretty strong here because, you know, and I gesture to the fact that I'm a centaur and probably like 3 times your body mass.
5, more like it.
Probably. Yeah.
With or without armor, that's the question.
Without. Do you physically stop me from drinking, though?
I do not go that far.
I'm at least gonna down whatever I'm drinking right now.
Alright, fair enough.
Give me one last con saving throw, then.
I mean, once it's poured out of the bottle, it'll go bad. You know, you gotta just...
I keep rolling the same thing, so that's a 17 again. No, not 18.
You just started slipping into tipsy territory.
Okay.
And at this point, Tulip will come up to the bar. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
are people dancing or anything right now? Like, the band's playing, right?
Yeah, there's still
Okay.
people dancing.
I assume I'm sitting on a stool. I will get down and extend my hand to Jilly and say, well, it is a party after all.
I'm
And
like...
I'll go dance with the centaur.
I will accept, like, surprised but impressed.
Okay,
And
folks,
fuck yeah, I'll go dance.
Okay. So, I'm curious at how good of a dancer both of you are. Give me a dex check as well as a performance check.
I still have my
and
armor on.
and a charisma. I want all 3.
Oh my god,
I'm
okay.
very scared because I literally have 2 left feet. So
Vesper definitely had that after, like, church dance class, I feel like that, like, happens, you know, like
Yeah.
church
If
dances.
Vesper went to finish, like, one of the things they teach girls at finishing school is how to waltz.
I was about to say with the etiquette school, I feel like maybe she would have learned
Oh,
something
that's
there.
true. But did she retain any of it? That's very true.
Muscle memory.
Okay, what did you want? You wanted a dexterity.
Dexterity, performance, and charisma.
crap.
Okay, hold on. Oh, that's so many.
Okay, everyone stay calm. It's happening. Here we go.
Okay, I'm ready whenever you want these numbers.
Jilly, give me your numbers first.
I rolled a 9, an 8, and a 9.
Ooh.
It's atrocious!
Okay, so dexterity first
Yes.
is a dirty 20.
Woo!
Okay.
Performance is a dirty 20.
Woo!
Ooh.
And just charisma, straight charisma,
Just charisma.
it's a 13.
I'm telling you now, if Alessandra were in there, she'd be singing that song from Anastasia where, like, the fat guy singing, like, why'd I let them dance? Because now they're falling in love now that they're dancing.
So, Vesper is definitely leading. Jilly, you are struggling. You probably almost stamp on her feet a couple times, but I imagine with the armor that it doesn't hurt too bad.
I got iron boots, it's fine.
Yeah.
They're steel-toed.
It is very mechanically correct, the leading part of, Jilly looks a little bit clumsy following because she doesn't quite know the same dance that Vesper's trying to go for, but mechanically on Vesper's side, it looks very nice. Style-wise, it doesn't look that great. It looks like, when you're learning the dance, it's very much you just know what you're supposed to be doing.
I feel like she is very, technical in her dancing,
Yes.
She would not put her own feelings into it.
And that's exactly how it comes across.
It's probably like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Counting in her head, everything.
I'm just impressed that someone can do something other than a line dance. Like,
How do centaurs line dance?
Do centaurs square
very
dance?
carefully. Very carefully, that's how.
Well, then I think that this is a beautiful moment to kind of fade away from is Vesper and Jilly dancing. Tulip's doing something at the party. Alessandra, unfortunately, is alone crying. The party slowly fades. Eventually, you guys stop. You do your last dance. The party fades. People start going home. It is late. Tulip will walk up to Vesper and Jilly. And I assume Nemmy would probably walk up to them as well at this point after they finish the last dance and people started to go home. And Tulip will say, "Are we staying here one last night? I don't think it'd be safe if we left now. And have you seen Alessandra?" I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, invite us, Jilly.
No, of course, y'all are welcome for another night, of course. And I mean, last I saw Alessandra, she went outside with you, right? Did she not come back in?
Her eyes just go wide when you say that, and she's like, "Oh, she never came back in." And she just obviously looks guilty. And Vesper, give me just a perception check as she's talking to Jilly.
Oh no. I have an inkling. 30, 20, 24 total. Or not, no, natural 20. 24 total.
This whole time, because Nemmy is there as well, she has been looking at Jilly, talking with her, and, looking over at Nemmy as well, but she has not looked. She's seeming to be avoiding eye contact with Vesper right now. And right when you realize it, Tulip runs out to go find Alessandra. Alessandra, would you still be where you were, where she left you?
I think at this point, Alessandra would have probably fallen asleep underneath that tree. She's got the silver coin clutched in her hand, and, her face is all red and puffy from crying, and her hair's all messed up. She looks like a hot mess, but she's sleeping. Very peacefully, mind you.
Like you got dumped on prom night and just...
Exactly. Exactly. If you woke her up, she'd be like, "I'm fine. Shut up."
So Tulip runs out, sees Alessandra asleep under the tree, and she just clamors to Alessandra. It probably wakes you up because she literally falls to her knees right next to Alessandra. Her hands land on Alessandra's knee and shoulder, and she just blurts out really loud, "I'm so sorry!"
What, kid? What? She opens her eyes, she's like, "What are you apologizing? What is happening?"
And she just doesn't even let you get your bearings. She just wraps her arms around your neck essentially and just says, "I'm so sorry. I left you. I shouldn't have left you. You missed the whole party."
Kid, calm down. I'm fine. I partied a little bit before I came out here. I'm fine. It's all right. She'll peel her arms off of her and say, "It's okay, kid. For real. I think I was due for a nap anyways."
she'll nod, but she obviously looks like she doesn't believe you, and she still looks just incredibly guilty, and she just says, I know, I'm sorry, Jilly said that we could stay here again, because you can see it's night now, and, I'm sorry for bringing things up. Let's go to Jilly's. And at this point, I would assume that Jilly and Nemmy and Vesper would be coming out, leaving the winery since the party's wrapping up, to head to Jilly's tent.
I grab one more tankard.
Okay, you grab one more tankard. Do you drink it, or do you just have it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, she down.
Give me another con saving throw. Oh no!
Natural 1.
Oh.
For a total of 4.
You definitely think that this last tankard was something that someone else had brought to this party. That it was like maybe like hardcore homemade moonshine or something like that. And it hit you. It hit you hard. Like, this area is spinning.
Hang on, let me see if Alessandra notices this.
I would also like to see if I notice.
Nope, that's a 5.
Like, okay.
She does not notice at all.
Come on, let me be perceptive. 12.
It wasn't gonna be hard. Yeah, you definitely noticed, but Alessandra, you're maybe more concerned with Tulip right now. And emotions.
Alright, as we walk, I'm just gonna stick very close to Vesper. Like, just, if she looks like she's gonna go down, like, I'm gonna catch her.
There's probably a few scary moments where you think she's just about to just collapse or she's gonna trip and fall, and you catch her. But you guys make it safely to Jilly's tent. You probably lay Vesper down somewhere. A couple of the woodland creatures, the chipmunks and the rabbits that just, come and go as they please, go up to Vesper and, like, cozy around her.
Am I just, like, blackout drunk, or am I about to pass out drunk?
I would say you're more about to pass out.
Oh, dang.
I mean, if you would like it to be blackout drunk, I'll allow it. Whichever, whatever way you would like to play it, that's how we'll go. Especially with the nat 1. You're one or the other.
I think blackout is more.
Okay. I'm gonna go and say that Nemmy probably just goes ahead and go. Actually, story purpose-wise, Nemmy at some point, while everyone else is distracted, doing whatever they gotta do to wrap up, to get ready for bed, even if they're talking or whatever, Nemmy would pull Jilly aside. And she's going to say, hey Jilly, do you have a second? I just wanted to run something by you. And then there's a little squeak from Waffles peeking up out of her bag. And she says, I know I don't really have a place in asking this, but today was really fun. And I know I casually mentioned how I lived just in a stick hut by myself before. I really like it here. Do you think that there would be a place for me in Waffles? Do you think we could stay?
Oh, darling, of course.
And
Absolutely.
She'll get a big grin on her face, and she'll say, thank you, I really appreciate it. I just think it would be better for us. Our life has been dangerous. I'm sorry. And she, like, calms herself.
All right. Take a few deep breaths. You're good.
Alessandra and Vesper were my first real friends, and I'm going to cherish everything we've done together for a really long time, the rest of my life. But it's been dangerous, and she covers Waffle's ears. I don't know what I would do if anything were to happen to Waffles. I felt very accepted here, and I really think that I could contribute and be happy. So if being allowed to stay just would be wonderful. But I'm gonna say goodbye to them in the morning. I want to have one last night with them, if that's okay.
Of course. And I think you two will fit in real well around here.
She smiles even bigger, and she's like, I'm really excited. And the two of you will go back inside.
Cool.
I'm sorry, Molly and Morgan. So Nemmy and Jilly come back inside. Vesper's blackout drunk. I assume Tulip's probably still just being really nice to Alessandra.
If nobody stops Vesper, she's gonna try and sneak out the bottom flap of the tent somehow.
I imagine myself like
while you guys are gone.
I was gonna say,
while they're gone.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's up to Alessandra to notice. I'll see if Tulip, even though she's actively trying to ignore, give me a stealth at disadvantage.
Oh, I already got disadvantage. Well, I guess I probably would have stripped, like, as soon as I got in the tent.
disadvantage.
But I am also blackout drunk, so...
Yeah, it's still disadvantage because of the drunkenness.
You get double
this time.
disadvantage. Roll 3d20s.
7.
Oh my god, that
Hold
was
on.
Alessandra's perception!
Do you want me to
That
roll
was her
again?
perception?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll again, because just to see
Alessandra,
if
roll again.
Alessandra notices.
I would not notice, no. I rolled a 3.
16 this time.
So...
Real sneaky.
No one stops you. If anyone did notice, they chose not to stop you.
Okay. So I just army crawl underneath the tent.
Where does drunk Vesper go?
She's gonna go back to the topiary of Skerra.
Okay. So once you stumble amongst the hedges and you're in that soft, lush green pasture, a calmness overcomes you. You're still really drunk, but you don't feel as anxious, or like the emotions that you have been feeling, they get dulled. They don't go away, but they do get dulled. And it is, that nice warm breeze that just somehow exists just within the walls of this hedge.
And she's just going to sit down, wrap her arms around her knees, and stare up at the sky. She had felt angry, but now coming here, she realized it was the right choice to calm herself down before she said anything rash. And she'll just sit there for a while.
As you sit there, for however long you do, once you've been in there for at least a couple minutes, you do feel a rather warm, enveloping brace. Like the wind came around you and embraced you. It doesn't last for very long. It's like a split instant. But you definitely felt it. Does she just continue to sit there?
She'll say, "Thank you." And then she'll get up and head out.
Does she try to sneak back into the tent? Or does she just walk back in?
I don't know. She'll try and sneak back in.
Give me another stealth. I'll just have it be a flat roll because it's been... I would say you were gone for at least an hour.
5.
I got a 15 on perception.
Jilly, you can roll as well to see if you notice her crawling back in.
I got a 17.
So everyone, you just watch as Vesper's army crawling back in, and once you look up, you realize that everyone, except for Tulip, is staring at you.
You good there, Vesper?
Yeah, I'm fine.
It was a bit of a delayed reaction there, friend. You want some help up? And she'll offer her hand.
Sure. I will accept and get up. Dust myself off a little bit.
Do I want to know, or...
That's up to you.
I'm going to bed.
At this point, I would say Nemmy's already asleep, because she was always early to bed. Tulip, once Alessandra decides to go to sleep, will look over at Jilly, kind of look over at Vesper and say, "Yeah, it's been a long day." And she will lay down and she faces, like, the wall of the tent.
I am very uncomfortable with the energy we have created in this tent tonight.
Yeah.
I just...
Do I get a feeling from Tulip's look?
Roll an insight. So I feel like Vesper would have taken note that Tulip hasn't looked at you for a while now.
That's a 9.
It's 9. No. Tulip might have just had a really long day. So, Jilly and Vesper, do you guys talk at all, or do you guys end up going to bed as well?
I'll probably just sit up for a little bit longer, like outside, and get some fresh air. I just look at Vesper and I'm like, I'm gonna be up for a little while longer. If you want to talk, and I gesture outside, and I just walk out and just sit outside. It's been a long day.
I'll follow her.
Vesper follows Jilly out.
My palms are so sweaty. They have not stopped sweating this whole episode. I just want to say this out loud.
Yeah, this has been a real doozy.
I don't think Jilly is saying anything. I think she's just kind of like, if Vesper's gonna talk, she's gonna talk, and nothing I can do about that.
Does Vesper say anything then is the question.
Tulip just starts playing Careless Whisper on her panpipes. I'm on the edge of my seat here. Come on, Morgan!
I know! I'm sorry!
Give her time!
It's okay.
You gotta give me time!
I'm messing with you.
Okay, fuck it, I lied. I'm like still staring out at the, just like out ahead. I'm like, so, y'all are gonna leave tomorrow, I guess?
Yeah, we kind of have a time limit on Tulip's quest, mission, whatever you want to call it.
I gathered.
First rule of questing, Morgan, you're not supposed to talk about the fucking quest!
She's been drunk! She's, like... It's fine. Shouldn't have said that. Don't tell Alessandra.
Don't worry about it. I mean, I kind of... There's still a lot of parts missing, but I've, pieced a few things together myself.
Yeah. You deserve the truth. We... very briefly, at least, is that we're taking Tulip somewhere she needs to go. And keep seeming to run into things along the road.
I get it. I mean... Well, actually, I'd like to say that I get it more than I do, but I don't really go too far from here. This whole thing has been a little more excitement than I'm used to.
Yeah. I don't think today was anything any of us could have planned for.
No, definitely not. Well, I mean...
And I'm sorry for that.
You have nothing to be sorry for.
I feel like we rolled up and just upheaved your town.
The trouble was here long before y'all arrived. The trouble was already here. I mean, I am glad that y'all were here. And I mean, I hope that your time here wasn't a complete loss, And I turned to face her at that.
I don't think so either. And I will... Oh my god. I will put my hand on her cheek. How does she respond?
She's
But then I kiss her.
Like...
I kiss her.
Let's go in, baby!
My poor ears and editing.
If I had a confetti cannon, I'd fire it right now! Woo! It sailed! The ship has sailed!
Nice.
Does Jilly
Nice.
say that?
No. I'm gonna use a move that I used once in real life. As we kind of pull, as we pull away, I'm gonna look at her. I'm gonna smile and I'm gonna be like, that was good, but I think we can do better. And then go in again.
Oh my god! Love it. I am so here for this right now.
God! I'm so happy! My dissertation! Yes!
Vesper is awestruck.
I am so teaching their child how to pick pockets!
And I mean, if all's well and good, I'd sit out and just make out with Vesper for like a while. Like a while.
So I feel like this is a good cinematic part where you're making out under the stars, the camera pans up and shows the night sky, and then eventually time passes and the sky starts to brighten. The camera pans back down to the tent. You guys are rising for the morning.
I could probably like get up kind of early and make everyone breakfast and hangover cures. Because Jesus Christ. And when I see Vesper get up, I'm gonna give her a little wink.
Oh my god!
Vesper looks away.
That was a 19 perception, did I see that?
How sneaky were you trying to be about the wink and the blush?
Not at all. In this household, we wear all that shit on our sleeve.
Were you trying to conceal your blush, Vesper?
I can try. What is that?
Deception, or I'll allow it to be deception or stealth, whichever one you'd like it to be.
That's a natural 20
Ooh,
plus 2,
damn
so
it.
22.
Well, I noticed the wink, so Alessandra's gonna, she's gonna look at Vesper, and she's gonna look at Jilly, and she's gonna look at Vesper, and she's gonna look at Jilly, and then she's gonna smile kind of knowingly, and she's just gonna be like, nod at her, like, nice. And she's gonna tuck into her breakfast.
I just shrug like, lady never tells, and like keep making breakfast.
Tulip's just eating quietly.
Did Tulip see?
You don't know.
Just eat breakfast then.
Jilly, you notice that your aunt once again did not come home. She's still not there, even though breakfast is all ready, and it's mid-morning-ish now. Your
Good for
aunt's not
her.
there.
I just kind of look over at like her empty bedroll, and I'm like, good for her. She deserves it. She's a real wonderful lady. She deserves that. Good for her.
Love is in the air.
When Alessandra says that, there's a slight tapping, because you can't really knock on the outside of a tent, but a slight tapping, and you hear Nutre's voice when he kind of peeks in. And Nutre says, "Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?"
Nutre, good morning. Come on in. We got some leftovers if you want. I offer him some breakfast.
"Oh, I could never turn down your cooking, Jilly." And
Oh.
he'll sit down next to Tulip and feed himself the rest of what was sitting there. And Tulip's just kind of focusing on her plate, and he looks around and he says, "I hope y'all slept well."
Yeah, sure.
Lack the dead, honestly. Yesterday was just so exhausting.
Oh yeah, this
with all
one
the
was
excitement
blackout
and
drunk,
everything.
and then she's gonna point to Vesper.
He'll chuckle. I think a lot of people got really carried away last night. How long are y'all gonna be in town?
It's actually our last day here, kid.
He says, "Oh," and he'll look over at Tulip, who is still just looking at her plate, and she's like doing the thing with like the fork where she's just kind of pushing what's left on her plate around, and he says, I didn't realize that."
I see.
And he'll finish eating, the little bit that he grabbed, and I imagine a little bit of an awkward silence goes by, and he'll stand back up and he'll say, "Well, it was really nice to meet you all. Maybe you guys will come back to visit us. I would have loved to have spent more time with you all." And I feel like I don't have to have any of you roll insight of what he really meant by that. And he will just really awkwardly take his leave.
Alessandra will take Nutre's seat, and she'll just offer her silent support, and finish eating her breakfast of whatever Jilly had prepared.
I kind of lean over to Tulip and I'm like, he's a sweet boy, but he'll be all right.
Tulip just nods, but she doesn't actually say anything in response to that. And you guys wrap up breakfast. You probably start to bundle up all of your belongings for the maidens leaving. Vesper gets back in her armor. And I guess Jilly probably walks them back to the Gem Clover Road, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Nemmy with her. You guys get back. Unless there's anything you guys want to talk about on your way through the woods.
We've experienced a lot in Skerra. I think we're all going to be very quiet.
I feel like I'm filling the silence by, like, info dumping about all of, like, the stuff in the surrounding area. And now when you get to this rock, you're going to want to make a left. It looks like you should make a right, but you should really make a left, because that's just going to take you the long way around, and, like, stuff like that.
Okay. Morgan, you look like you were contemplating something. Does Vesper stay quiet, or what does she do?
It's okay. Keep going.
Okay. So, with Jilly leading you guys back to the Gem Clover Road, explaining things, info dumping, if you will, you guys get back to the main Gem Clover Road where you had initially entered the Ivory Wood to go to Skerra. And Jilly turns to you guys because it's,
all right,
the end of the road.
This is it.
And Nemmy will very shyly look over at Jilly and then shyly look at Alessandra, Tulip, and Vesper, and she says, guys, I have something I kind of have to tell you now. I'm going to be staying in Skerra. I talked it over with Jilly. She said it would be okay. I want to make sure that you know that it was nothing that you two did. I really loved our time together. I just think it's best for Waffle's safety. I think it might be better if I stay here. And Skerra, and she gets a slight smile, and she says, Skerra's the home I always wanted. I can't leave it. I'm sorry I can't continue on with you guys.
Alessandra will... She'll sigh and she'll say, you guys are turning me into such a softie, I swear to God. She's gonna run over to Nemmy and just pull her into a big ol' hug.
Nemmy hugs you back.
Vesper will walk over and hug them too.
Come on, Jilly! Come on, Tulip!
Okay, I mean, if you insist.
Tulip will also join the group hug, and she is crying at the thought of leaving Nemmy behind. And when you guys pull away, she says, oh, by the way, I have something for you, Alessandra, that I forgot to give you. And she pulls out the small chest that she got from the secret room, and she'll hand it to Alessandra, and she says, now, I know that it is trapped. I don't know how, I don't know why, or what it's going to do, but it is trapped, but I know you of all people could figure out how to get in there.
Gee, thanks. Anything else we should need from the house?
And yeah, she digs around and she will pull out the scraps of paper and the couple of books that she took from Agnes Briarfog's ghost, and she'll hand them to Vesper. She's like, that's all the information that I got from the mansion. I'm sorry it wasn't more, but... And she'll look earnestly at Vesper and she says, pointing at the top book, I wrote something in there for you guys. Read it when you're ready. And she'll look at Jilly and say, I'm ready whenever you are. And she'll just step back to let Jilly say her goodbyes.
Well, y'all, it's been an absolute delight hosting you. Anytime you come back through here, my door is always open. I hope that y'all come back soon. Stay safe, I guess.
Tulip, wiping tears from her eyes from crying about Nemmy, will step towards Jilly and just say, thank you for inviting us to the party and everything and letting me participate in the ceremony. I know Skerra probably really liked that, and I hope he continues to bless you. And she'll give her a hug.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional.
And she'll step aside because she knows the others would want to say goodbye as well.
Alessandra will reach out her hand to shake Jilly's hand, and when Jilly takes Alessandra's hand, she's gonna lean in and say, "I'll be sure to bring Vesper back. Don't worry."
And I'll turn to Vesper and I'll be like, and you really gotta come back sometime.
Alessandra will do an exaggerated
It's
wink
been fun.
towards Jilly.
Oh my goodness. It was a lot of fun. Bar some things, but definitely made it better.
Well, I mean, Skerra knows I love a girl in uniform, and I'll pull her in for one more kiss.
Alessandra's jaw just hits the floor. She's like, "I knew it!"
Vesper is beat red! But that does not stop her from kissing her back.
Yes.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Alessandra's like, "Oh my god!"
She'll, when she pulls back, I imagine she's probably like, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
couple,
I've lowered myself
you
down
kind
to
of
like people level.
Yeah. And I'll look Jilly in the eyes and I'll just say, "Take care of her, yeah?"
I will.
And I'll kiss her again real quick.
And Nemmy just gives you a smile once you part again. He says, "Oh, you too." And starts heading into the tree line, but looks back and waits for Jilly.
I give one last wave and then head on back.
So as the two groups part ways, Jilly and Nemmy making their way back to the village of Skerra, and Vesper, Alessandra, and Tulip starting to head southbound again on the Gem Clover Road. That is where we're gonna call this episode. Guys. That
My ship has sailed.
That was so much.
My ship has sailed.
Oh my gosh, I honestly, I had no idea if that ship was ever going to actually sail with everything that happened.
I came to a decision. I was like,
I came to a decision too.
Clearly.
Good.
We agreed on that decision.
We didn't even talk.
I was like, it's gonna happen.
Oh my god, I can show Diana my dissertation now.
I would love to see it.
I don't even know what to say entirely at this point, because so much emotion happened.
So much happened this episode. Like,
roller
Like,
coaster.
bundle up.
Yeah.
Simple roller
Bundle up,
coaster.
listeners. Bundle up.
I feel like there has to be like a content warning for like, don't listen to this if you're super depressed.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like this got into some deep emotions.
It did indeed.
Thank you for listening to the Maidens of Mayhem podcast. I'm Gabby, and here is some extra info for you all. Stay until the end for a Millie blooper from this episode. The next episode of Maidens of Mayhem will air on May 19th. Join the Maidens as they deal with some unresolved emotions delivered from their time in Skerra. Follow us on Instagram at Maidens of Mayhem Pod for weekly Meme Mondays. The entity is sure to get rowdy again, so be sure to follow it at Maiden Mayhem Pod on Twitter to be entertained. We'd like to thank our special guest Diana one last time for joining us as Jilly Joyce, the Centaur Druid with Southern Hospitality. You can find her TikTok at Aspiring Straganona. The link is provided in the description. We hope to have her on again in the future, as we can't go without Jesper forever now, can we? We would also like to thank Mikhayla for joining us as Nemmy Nemesis for 10 whole episodes. We will surely miss our Purple Ranger friend and her sassy guinea pig waffles. We wish her the best and all the future holds for her. The music used in this episode can be found at silvermansound.com and was written by Shane Ivers. The songs as they appeared in this episode are as follows: Voyage of Discovery, Endings, and Moments. Links to these songs are provided in the description and are free to use under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. Once again, the next episode of Maidens of Mayhem will come out on May 19th. Thanks for listening, and see you next time. So there's a cat in the tent.
Cool.
Millicent.
Sounds good.
Do not jump up there.